Take a moment to come back to center, to come back home. Organize your body, your spine, your breath, your mind. Find your rhythm. We chant Om together 5 times. Inhale deeply. Close your eyes and look up. Keeps the mind from wandering into the past and future. Keep your attention focused at one point. Slow down your breathing. It seems there are 2 schools. One school says that the goal of life is over there and you have to get there. And in order to get there, you have to try hard and you have to be good and you have to keep going and trying and doing and you have to fix all the problems. And then, if you do it, then you get there and there you'll be happy. There you'll be good. There you'll be successful. This we call the path of there. The goal is over there. The other school says that the goal is here, not over there. Actually, it's impossible to get there because we've created there in our mind. And here, the only possibility is here, to be here. It's not possible to be there. And so somehow we've traded here and now, which is where life is happening, for then and there. And as a result, we're making our here and now not good enough. This moment is not enough because it's only a stepping stone to get there, but we never arrive there. Nobody's arrived. I have yet to meet anybody who's arrived. So if it were possible to arrive there, someone would have done it. You would have done the final thing, or you finally know you have the right words or the right idea, the right explanation, but nobody has reached that point. And so it's unlikely, it's unreasonable to think that we will. Right? Like playing the lottery, many people will laugh at the people playing the lottery because the odds are so against you. Even more the odds are against you that you're going to finally check the final item on your to-do list. That you finally fix that last thing and you're good enough. Impossible. It's impossible. And so the yogi said, maybe then and there exists. But for sure, here and now. We can start here and now. If then and there exists, here and now will flow into then and there. But if we don't know how to be here, if we don't know how to be present, then whenever it comes, whatever we're waiting for, whenever that comes, we'll miss it. Because we're always looking over there. And life is flowing here. Life is happening here. So we have to train. We've been training in then and there. Our whole life has been focused then and there. First we learn this and graduate and go to this and then get this and do that to get there. It's always been there. And here is the sacrifice. We have sacrificed here. But we have to investigate if this is correct. And because in order to experience true happiness or peace or joy or playfulness, that can only happen here and now. It can't happen then and there. It's not an idea about the past or future. And so, the path of yoga and meditation is simply remembering, remembering the mechanics of being present, how to breathe, how to hold yourself, how to focus. Right now, it's like we're like a camera out of focus. And so everything is unclear. Mind is not sharp. So this kind of training or fine-tuning of our own system, biology, the emotions, the thoughts, all of these are super important. We can't neglect any of these aspects. The biology, and there's so many levels of the biology. So many, this is all power. Your blood is power. Your nervous system is power. The chemistry is power. The water in your body is power. Cells are power. Everything is power, is light. But when it's stuck, when the river's stuck, when the fire is stifled, when the wind can't blow, then it becomes like toxic, poisonous. So we need to transform our body into light, into power. Then our heart, our emotions also, all this is, our mind, all this, we have to clean. Like you clean your dishes, you clean your room, you clean your sheets, you clean the toilet, you clean the car. Everything we clean outside, but more important than the cleanliness of our toilet, our teeth, even of our bed, is the cleanliness of our hearts and minds. And so, that's why we recommend to spend a few minutes each day in order to nurture this most essential relationship. No one else can do it. No one else can clean your mind. Even you pay them $1 million, can't do it. It's an internal process. Clean your heart. You can't pay anyone to do that. You can clean the surface, but the deep level, it's not possible. And so this happens automatically, actually. This is the life. The same way when you eat the food or you get a cold or sickness, the body knows it responds immediately. Life knows what to do, actually. And immediately life knows what to do. You get a cut, immediately life knows what to do. No hesitation, not even a split second of hesitation. Life immediately is reacting perfectly. And so in the same way, that life, that intelligence and wisdom within us, we want to allow that. We want to give space for that. So this is why we recommend to spend a little time each day training, tuning your body, heart, and mind. This is the essence of yoga. Is this not the training? Yoga is not about the training. Yoga is this state of aliveness, the state of presence, the life that one lives from that place of creative, receptive, open, from learning, from this, the vulnerability to experience the beauty and love all around us. In nature, it's everywhere, in every moment. It's not like we have to go hunting to try to find a moment of joy or a moment of love, but it's like a flood. Each moment, all around us, we can penetrate to that essential nature of being. And so this is a tuning process, because joy is not a thought. No, the thought, I am joyful, is the furthest away from the actual living joy. In the moment that you're joyful, there's no thinking. You're not thinking about joy when you're joyful. The same way, you're not thinking about peace when you're peaceful. Only when you're not peaceful. So the experience of joy, of peace, is completely different from the thinking about it. So the experience is a vibration, is a frequency. This is why we need to tune our hearts, our minds, to be receptive to that frequency of love, of joy, of wisdom. Right now, we're very receptive to frequency of problem. We can find 1,000 problems in every moment. No, our mind is trained. We're trained like this, always comparing, contrasting, and looking for problems. Now we have to train ourselves, train our nervous system to be receptive to experience the depth of beauty around us and within us. Best is first to go into nature. Very difficult with human society because we have so many expectations and everything triggers. But in nature, we can see very clearly, we can see the beauty, we can see the love expressed in the forest, in the jungle, in the ocean, by observing the other creatures and layers of life. And then once we can tap into that within nature, then we can see it more clearly within ourselves and within the human world. So it's a tuning process. If it's possible to be in tune, for sure, we should strive to be in tune. Right? Because there's two options, in tune and out of tune. Centered and out of centered, uncentered. So for sure, if we can approach life in tune, in shape, in harmony, then that could definitely affect our experience, for sure. The way that others see us, the way we relate to ourselves, our rhythm. Everything has to do with the rhythm. It's the way of breathing. It's a kind of tension that we're storing from our thoughts and emotions. So it's at this level that we're working. Like you could have dirty, nappy hair, and you never comb or wash it, and then all of a sudden you start to wash your hair, and within a few days, a few weeks, your hair becomes very nice. In the same way, you never take care of your nervous system. You never clean, you never let go all the pain and the tension still stuck in a contraction and a breathing. But then all of a sudden you start, okay, every day you take time to flush your system, to release, to come back to this natural rhythm. And then very soon it's the same. Your nervous system is glowing, is shining. The same like with the hair, because it's part of your body, your aliveness. That the garden is alive 365. The garden is growing every moment of every day. Every second, the garden is growing and dying. In the same way, you are alive like the garden. Every second, you're growing. You have the potential to blossom, to flower, to seed, to fruit. Every moment. So if we nourish, like a gardener, this is gardening. This isn't spirituality. This isn't religion. This is gardening. You water the garden, take care of the garden. Spend a few minutes every day in the garden, you give your love. You pick the flowers, you remove the pests, you give some fertilizer, like this. You do the same with yourself, with your body, with your heart, with your mind. And then you see what happens, because life knows what to do. The garden knows exactly what to do. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to convince the garden or argue with the garden how it should grow, when it should flower. Life knows what to do. Everything is contained in the seed. The superintelligence in the seed is also the superintelligence which is producing you. And so all we need is to tap back into that intelligence of life. The one that's digesting your food, the one that's beating your heart, that same intelligence will digest the past experience. So yoga is like gardening. If you've been given a garden, you have to choose whether you take care of the garden or neglect the garden. You can choose to neglect the garden, but that's a choice. If someone has given you a garden, if someone's given you a piece of land to take care of, then it's up to you. So you've been given the garden, you have a body, that's one of the gardens. You have the heart, that's the second garden. You have mind, that's the third garden. So spend a few minutes in the garden. At first, it's more difficult. If you haven't taken care of your garden, then getting the garden started takes more effort. Initially, it may require more effort, more difficult. Pull up the rocks, till the soil, get the soil nice, create good microorganisms like this. But once you get the garden growing, then it takes less and less effort, then the garden's doing itself. So the same way, in nurturing oneself, initially, it may require more time and effort. But in truth, spending time in the garden is itself is beautiful, is joyful. To be in the garden, to work in the garden it's joyful. In the same way, to be in yourself, to be with yourself, that itself is joyful, is love. It's an act of love. But in the practice, we focus on being present, not on being good at yoga. Otherwise, yoga becomes another achievement, and we're making ourselves not good enough. I'm not good enough, I have to get good so I can do that. That becomes the opposite of yoga. Instead, yoga means you're doing the practice so that you're settling into the core of your being, where your body feels fully alive and in tune and quiet. Your heart is alive and open and quiet. Your mind is also very alive and quiet, and everything is aligned. So the practice is simply coming back to that state again and again until it becomes so familiar that there's no reason to leave that state. Why would we go to the confused state? Why would we go to the worried and fearful and angry state, when we have to anchor that state of deep presence in the nervous system, in the breath, in the biology? So that's the practice of yoga. It's not about doing some circus tricks and taking a picture or proving something, like, look at what I can do. We don't need complicated, tricky practice. What's necessary is a stable, regular practice of being deeply rooted, grounded in yourself, so much so that you forget yourself. This is freedom. Freedom from this obsession of, I have to do this and fix this and do this and what about that and what is that? All that is the problem. And that thinking is keeping you from being yourself. Trying to think of what to do and how to do it. So when you're truly in tune, when you're truly connected, then you forget about yourself. And in that moment, you experience the true peace, true happiness. True happiness is not getting what you want. It's not winning. It's not proving something. That's just a temporary high, temporary intoxication. Like eating sugar. You eat sugar and you get excited. And then it goes away. In the same way, getting what you want, winning, this is not happiness. This is like an intoxication. Happiness is like when you eat a meal and you don't want anything. You don't need anything. Nothing is missing. The feeling that nothing is missing, this contentment, is more like a peace. It's not like an excitement and a joy and like a spazzing out. But it's like a deep peace of not needing anything. So completely different from chasing after these momentary highs, which then lead us again, chasing again. It's never ending. If it's ended for someone, then for sure we can try. If someone has succeeded by those means, if someone has reached the goal by trying really hard and doing everything and doing it right, and then it's enough, then for sure it's worth trying. However, if no one has, if we don't know of anyone, if there's that's made it, then it's actually insane that we again and again fall on our faces trying to do it and making it ourselves not good enough. We're just completely missing the moment. And so this is why it's a very different, the approach between the path of here and the path of there. Of course, if we're fully living here, that aliveness and wisdom and presence will carry into there. And it's not that we're being present here means we're avoiding and there. Of course, at times it arises, we have to think and calculate, but it's a very small percentage of the time of our day. Of the life energy is just continually computing and processing and regurgitating information about the past and future. This represents a small portion of our expenditure of energy and time. More like a jazz musician or a finely trained sports player. They're not wasting their energy flopping around all over the place, but the focused movement, focused action, focused. And then, like the animals too, They look, when they're not in action, like they're dead, completely relaxed, completely still, and then in one instant spring into action. And then again, back to the stillness. So now we're stuck in a state of constant going, doing, trying, and it's never enough. And so all we need is to have a foundation of being, and then the doing arises on the foundation of being, but not with the idea that by doing we're going to be ourselves or achieve something. The achievement is to be yourself. The doing happens naturally, but now we're caught where we're like chasing our tail, trying to do it right, and there's no arriving. It's always going, but never arriving. And so that's just the path of there, you never arrive. It's always just over there, just a little bit further. The next thing, the next one, the next level, the next job, the next amount, the next this, the next that. Everything, it's infinite. Otherwise, someone would have arrived. Someone would be content, would be enough. But from what it seems, there's no good role models. Not on the TV, not the famous people, not in the religious institutions, not in the politics, not in the academia. Everybody is confused, everybody is distraught, disturbed, disconnected. Because we're told that the goal is over there, but what if it's not? What if the goal is not over there? What if the goal is here? So this is, at least we can explore, because it would seem that the successful people, which we say that rich people, famous people, beautiful people, powerful people, all of them are miserable. No? There's a feeling it's not enough. There's a fear and a not enough. And so if attaining the highest level of success, it causes all this mental illness and all this substance abuse and all this behavior, then for sure something is off. And we can't expect that if we achieve that, then we'll be any different. How would we be different? How would it be different? So the problem is disconnected. We're disconnected from ourselves, from our bodies, hearts, and minds, and disconnected from the present moment. Without this connection, then everything else is meaningless. And so that's why we say take some time every day to nurture this most basic relationship. And then see, maybe it makes a difference, maybe it doesn't. That you have to find out from your own experience. If it does, that would be radical. And if we can be more present, more creative, feel more at home within ourselves, that's incredible. To breathe more deeply, to let it go, to flow, to dance, to not worry. This is high level. This is super high level. So all this has to do with the rhythm, with the habit, the way of breathing, way of holding your body, way of focusing your attention. And so that's what we're training. Like a sports player, imagine every time you hit the ball, it just goes out, flies all over the place, into the net or off of the court. So you have to train the technique. So if all the time we're experiencing these strong emotions and low energy or too much, whatever it is, we have to find the balance, the right like that, right pressure, right speed, right distance. It's all subtle mechanics. The subtle mechanics of being human, the same like we have subtle mechanics in golfing, in tennis, in bowling, in darts, in violin, the pressure, the string, the speed, everything. So we can train for sure. If we can master the violin, if we can master all these complex things, the most simple thing is to master being yourself. It's not the most complex. It's not the difficult thing. It's not going to take years and years, actually. But since we were young, we were taught to ignore ourselves, neglect ourselves. Even from infancy, in most countries, the baby is forced to eat when the parents' time. Now it's eating time, you have to eat, even if you're not hungry. Or it's toilet time, you have to go, even if you don't have to go. Or sleep time, the same. And so what happens is when we force the child and then give them negative feedback when they're following their own signal, like, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat. But then we say, no, it's time to eat, and we give negative feedback. And then when they do what we want, we give positive feedback. And so they learn the people pleasing in the most basic areas of sleeping, eating, and going to the toilet. We distrust our own internal signals and learn that not to trust them, because then we get negative feedback. And then if we do what we're told to do, we get a positive feedback. And so already from a pre-mental, very young age, we're people-pleasing in basic biological functions. And then that just expands into the other aspects of our personality and life experience. And so we have to this is why we have to recenter ourselves, retune ourselves, to work on the basic subtle mechanics of experiencing that wholeness from within, not trying to get it from outside. The inner peace, the inner beauty, the inner joy, not just trying to prove it. I've only realized this recently, because everyone's asking the purpose of life and like that. And so every moment is a purpose. It's not just one thing like that. But then what I saw is that for most people, they're meaning some career. Everyone's thinking about career. We're all trying to prove something. Instead of living life authentically, it's like we're doing it in order to prove something to someone. And so we have to see that logic is not going to work. It's because no one else cares. No one else cares. And so this idea of having to prove something, to prove it to ourselves, prove it to others, something like that, this somehow it distorts the natural joy, passion, creativity, aliveness. And so this is why we recommend to spend some time each day. Like we clean our clothes every day. That's a reasonable thing to do. Because you wear your clothes and they get smelly, they get dusty, they get dirty. You have to clean them. So what about our mind? Is your mind getting... No, what happens every day? How much? Even the food we eat. You eat food. Most of the food is waste. Most of the food is trash. You have to get rid of it. So the same way you're eating sights with your eyes, with your ears, with your nose, with language. So many things you're eating with your mind. What about that? Most of that is waste. You have to digest it immediately. You eat food, every day you eat food. 2 times, 3 times a day, sometimes 5 times, 8 times a day. Do you remember what you ate last week on Tuesday for lunch? Do you remember what you ate 3 months ago, Saturday night for dinner? No idea. You eat the food, immediately you forget. In the same way, you life experience, and immediately you digest it, you forget it. Otherwise, imagine you never forgot what you ate, like every day. You'd be so overloaded with all these thoughts of this one or with that one, and not as good as this one, and what about that one? It'd be impossible to live. It'd be impossible to live if you remembered all the food you ate for every meal every day and how you felt about it. So the same with every other experience in life. Everything is food. Everything must be digested. Once it's digested, it's part of you. It becomes you. You don't have to actively prove it or show it, because you are it. So that's why we recommend every day take time. It's not about to be flexible. Doesn't mean to touch your toes. To be flexible means to be able to adapt to life, to flow with the moment, to be in the flow. It's not just physical flexibility. It's at every level that you can go with the flow, to be able to dance. Yoga is best to be done at home alone. To be with yourself. It's like marinating in your own sauce. It's an act of self-love. Just, you don't even have to be lovey-dovey when you do it. It's just the act of doing. When you stretch and reach and touch and breathe and you're uncomfortable, but you stay present, that itself is love. Love is not like writing Valentine's notes or something and always being kissy-kissy everything. Love means to be real, to drag yourself onto the mat or to go to the gym and then you fit to activate your cells and to breathe and to sweat. That's love. It doesn't have to be like, like chocolates and rainbows and kisses, everything. So the practice itself is, and the energy that's released is love, and then that spaciousness is love, and then to be in tune with yourself, to breathe in a smooth rhythm, that's love, and then your words come from that place. Everything is, there's a core rhythm. When that's in tune and harmony, then everything, your thoughts, emotions, your words, all come from that harmony. If at the core it's all like disconnected, then everything arises from that place of disconnection. So that's why we want to focus on the root level, tuning at that root level, which is a vibration. And so do it the 100 days. If you think, if there potentially is value, right? It's like we're taking all kinds of medicine, all kinds of pills, this and that. So this pill is your own biology, working with your own system. You marinate, you nourish, you nurture that each day, and then see if it makes a difference. See if you feel more yourself, you feel more powerful, you feel more at ease. Right? This is my experience, and my experience in working with others over the last 20 years, 25 years, is that if you focus some of your time and energy on yourself, you challenge yourself, you nourish yourself, you sit with yourself, you open yourself, you listen to yourself, you love yourself, you clean yourself, you accept yourself, all of these things, then for sure that will enhance your experience of life in the day-to-day, in your work, in your family, in your own mind, for sure. How could it not? It would be weird if it didn't. And if you take care of the garden will grow. So we take this approach, it's gardening. And we already do it. Every day we take time, brush your teeth, take a shower, make your face, wash your clothes, put on new clothes. So anyway, there's a daily rhythm. So we just add on to that the rhythm of cleaning the inside of the body, the heart and mind. And then see if it works. It may. 100 days is a recommendation. You'll know before 100 days. You should know after 30 days, 15 days. Depends on how sensitive you are. But with the practice, you become more sensitive in your intuition, in your trusting yourself, listening to yourself, knowing yourself. For sure, if you practice, you'll get better. If you have a regular practice, then that's the key. That's the key to any sport, to any musical instrument, to any language, learning anything. You need a regular, repetitive, focused practice. But the key is practicing from that place of love, not from the place of not good enough. We have to uproot that as much as possible immediately, because it's not by being not good enough and not good enough, not good enough, and then we keep pushing and eventually we become good enough. No, by that means all we know is how to be not good enough. It's never good enough. And so instead, we start with from that place of presence, where the goal is not over there, the goal, I'm living it in this moment. The goal of life is here now. Is this interaction, is this moment, is this connection, is this person my soulmate, is the person that's right in front of me this moment? We are living the purpose of life. It's not like some secret we have to find written on some code somewhere and the one thing that I'm going to do. It's everything that you do. It's who you are. Questions? Joel, what advice would you give to the group in taking their next step when leaving the retreat? You can leave the retreat, but you can never leave the present moment. So you have to keep that. It's a kind of attention, paying attention. If we're always paying attention to over there, then we're going to miss what's here. So we have to train ourselves to be grounded here, at least 10%. At least 10% we can be here and now. Keep 90% in the bucket of there and then. And little by little you can see maybe there's more, the here and now is giving more than there and then. We've been living in the story of there and then, and this is creating a lot of suffering, a lot of expectation, impossible expectation, and control trip. Because then and there, anything goes, I can say anything, and then I try to control myself, control life, control others, and then I'm miserable. So the path of then and there is a control. So here and now, we have to train. We have to train how to be present. So set up a daily practice. Make a commitment. Every morning, say you'll have 20 minutes. That's you can commit 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. So for about 10 minutes, you do your physical postures. It can be the spinal sequence. It can be these yoga postures. You use a timer. You do the postures. Shavasana. You can only do a few, 4 or 5. It's enough. Then another 3 or 4 minutes of breathing, and then 6 minutes stillness meditation. Use the timer. Do it every day, at the same time every day, for 100 days. And then you'll know very clearly if it's like inserting a program. You put this program into another program to clean your computer. So we're inserting this process, which is really alchemy. Really, we're working with the cells, the biology, the nervous system. It's working at a deep level. It's not on the surface. It's not in the mirror. But we're talking, this is a deep level alchemy. And so you do it every day for 100 days, and then you'll know very clearly. We have to anchor it within our daily life. Otherwise, we get swept away. Right? So every day we eat food. But our life rhythm, this is a problem too. Now we're living in a false system of time. We're living in false time. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 is not real time. That's not the cosmic time, the time of the seasons and the planets and the galaxy and the electron. It's not. This is the consumer time. This is consumer time, weekends and weekdays and etc. This is a false time. So actually, within the false time, it's very difficult to be in balance, in tune. So the present moment is the only moment, and the present moment is outside of time. When we talk about the present moment, some people think the present moment is like us sitting in this room listening. No, the present moment means everything everywhere at once. Everything everywhere, all the billions of humans at once, and all the insects and all the microcosm, the macrocosm, everywhere, everything everywhere at once. It can't be computed with the mind. So the present moment is not my moment. It's not mine. In the present moment, I am nothing. I'm just a speck of dust, like another drop of water. So the present moment is outside of time. Time is in the mind. And so that's why we're teaching presence. Because there's no possibility of peace in the mind. There's no amount of thinking will bring you to a peaceful conclusion. It keeps going and going and never ending. No amount of thinking about love will bring you to love. Love is not a thought. So through presence, you can directly experience that. So the recommendation is to cultivate that presence. Joel, do you coordinate your wardrobe to match Liani and Claudia on the welcome day? We were all wearing blue, gold, and blue and gold. This is what happens, you know, when you start looking like your dogs, and you. So we've been together so long, and I'm personally in my diva phase. And so it's only natural that I would start to look like them and they would start to look like me. What is the difference between religion, spirituality, and this training for life? That's an excellent question. Excellent question. So the original meaning of religion, religare, to reconnect. So religion in its pure sense is that which reconnects us with the source, with the truth, with our true self. And so this was experiential, and this was the language of the mystics. But then religion became political, and it became control, and it became us and them, and right and wrong, and this kind of thing. And so that organized religion is different from the path of the mystics. And so now spirituality is what we call the path of personal or direct experience or realization. However, this is problematic as well, because people talk about spiritual life and then a non-spiritual life, but actually there's only one life, right? There's not two lives. There's not a work life and a family life and a fun life and a spiritual life and a business life and there's one life. No, and the one life is a spiritual life. When the aliveness, just to be alive, that's it. It's not playing a game or playing a role or something extra. And then, so this training is, again, but it becomes a trip, then everyone's in a spiritual trip. No, and we have a spiritual ego. So there's no ego in gardening. No, the gardener is this is like gardening. This is a garden, you take care of the garden. It's more scientific. Spirituality feels like it's too much like whatever anyone says. No, we're talking in mathematics, geometry, chemistry, aerodynamics, physics, everything. This life training, self-tuning, right? We know, okay, someone's playing out of tune. Oh, it feels wrong. Someone's playing in tune, it's very beautiful. So then this tuning is not spiritual, it's not religious, but the true meaning of spiritual and religious is this in-tuneness. They use this word, in-tuneness, atonement, at oneness. All the Sufism, the mystical Judaism, mystical Christianity, mystical Islam, all of them touch the same essence. Because it's what they call eternal truth. It doesn't belong to anyone, or even any species. So otherwise, as soon as we call it something, we get into a big trip, and then it's us and them, and then we're right, and they're not right, and everything. This is terrible. And so that's why we're talking now just about tuning. Tune yourself. Tune your body, heart, and mind. Water your garden, and then cultivate this aliveness, to be alive. What I've seen recently is that we don't have a model of health. We only have a model of illness. No, what we call mental health actually has nothing to do with mental health. It's about mental illness. What does it mean to be healthy, to be stable, to be grounded? There's no model for that. Same with the physical. When we talk about health, it means, oh, you're not sick, then you're healthy. But it's not about an abundance and an aliveness, a flourishing, a blossoming. It's more of a passive state. And so what we're talking about is this active state. Like you can see a beautiful garden. Wow, it's beautiful, beautiful tree. That's beautiful. That's that kind of beauty, to be connected with the source of aliveness. And this is what they talk about, the difference between a beggar and a king. We're walking around begging. Even we have so much money and things, we're begging everyone, please love me, please approve of me, please, begging the universe. Instead of being grounded, rooted in ourselves, let life come to you. This is the difference. When you're at peace, when you're at home in yourself, when your nervous system, everything, then life comes to you. We don't need to run around all the time chasing after everything. So it's actually the same. This is the essence of this is the same as the essence of all this. But it's so risky we get caught up in some trip and some ego. So that's the difference. Joel, do you ever have family only in the retreat and have pool parties? This is an endless party. This is everyone. This is an endless party. Everyone is family, including the fish and the grass and the birds and the frogs and the snails, and we have in the old days for the first 4 years of the retreat it was 365 and 365 days a year we had people on retreat. We did it for 4 years. And then we started with like fixed retreat days. So we had like 6-day, 10-day retreats, 21-day retreats. And then we'd have like 1 or 2 days in between. And then we focused on, we found that really the ideal was 6 days. Because 6 is digestible. People would say, oh, I want to say 10, I want to say more, but without fail, by day 7 or 8, they'd be like, don't tell me what to do, I want to do my own thing. And so we're like, okay, 6 is good because people are peaking. And then we had only a day between, then we had 2 or 3, then we had 4 days between. And so there's, everyone is family. Everyone is family, and there's an infinite pool party, and we're all invited. Joel, what are the top 3 things you live by in terms of beliefs? No beliefs at all. No beliefs. It's either known or it's not. Doesn't matter. I don't want to. Believing in something is kind of half-assed. It's like, yeah, maybe. So I'll put it in the belief pile. But for me, this as a scientist, it's extreme experimentation, and then based on my experience knowledge, then I live by that. And so top 3, gosh, I don't know, I can make a list, or the top ones or something, but for me, definitely to dive in headfirst every moment for life. This is a bit important, to live from this place of passion and to trust that my passion is guiding me where I need to be, and to nourish that passion, not to let that die. And so even when I have many responsibilities, I'm very busy doing things, still different creative experiments or different things in nature or different things playing with my son or different ways of exploring my body or different, it's all, so there's, each moment I'm planting thousands of seeds, like Johnny Appleseed. I'm just taking seeds and throwing them and then watering them because I don't know which one will sprout when. I'm never forcing on a time, but I have many seeds that I'm collecting, and then depending on which one is sprouting, then I go with that. But in my garden, I'm planting many seeds all the time, infinite seeds. For me, okay, another one is dance. It's essential to dance every day, all the time. Because life is a dance, actually. Life is a dance. It's not a race, right? If it's a race, then we got to get to the goal. And if it's a problem, then we have to fix it. But my experience is that life is a dance. The trees, the grass, the birds, the insects, the planets, the stars, the molecules, everything is dancing. It's not about getting somewhere, it's just the play. And so for me, dancing is essential medicine. That's 3, right? 3. If there is one consciousness, why is there so much evil in the world? In the oneness, there's not 2. You see, evil is a duality. Evil means there's good and bad. There's big and small. This is relative, though. This is relative. This is duality. So in the oneness, there's no, first of all, if there's oneness, there's not one to know a second one, right? In order for me to see something, like if I see that that's big, there's me and that's it, and they're separate. Only in separation can there be a knowing or perception. So in the oneness, there's no perception and no knowing. It's just one system. And so the same way that dark and light are part of one system, then everything is within that. And so evil is just our interpretation. Is the volcano evil? Is the disease evil? Right? Everything is just happening. So there's no if. There is only one consciousness. There's one consciousness. There can't be 2. And evil has nothing to do with consciousness. Evil is just is an interpretation of certain phenomena from a certain perspective. But what we consider evil now, what was considered evil before, what's considered, like, this is also relative. So evil, good and evil is within duality or relative. Consciousness is beyond duality. And so there's no separate, it's not separate from oneself. So like everything happening within my organism is part of that oneness. So there's no, even there's so much evil. How can there's no way that we can quantify evil. And there's also no way to quantify good. Everything, like we say, everything is in its place. Right? All the stars and planets and galaxies, everything is in its place. All the molecules and atoms, everything is in its place. So if the macrocosm and the microcosm everything is perfectly in its place, then by deduction, everything in between also must be in its place. Whether we can see it or not, there's a... However, if we consider the human experience as primary and everything else is secondary, then we can say that something is wrong. But if humans are just part of a bigger system that's playing out over the period of hundreds of thousands of millions and millions of years, then the minute detail of things that are happening within, today and tomorrow, this is very small within the infinite scale. But from my perspective as someone existing in this moment, looking around me, right, then I'm going to have certain judgments and ideas. But this is relative. And so the relativity of good and evil has nothing to do with consciousness. That consciousness is the same thing that's been giving birth to the universe since billions of years ago. It's by which everything is infused, the aliveness infused in the gases, in the minerals, in the different microorganisms, in the basic plant structure, and then more complex plants. This one consciousness, the one energy, the one spark of life is playing in all of these different forms. And within the form, it's playing within all the cells and everything. So there's infinite from the macro to the micro level. That one consciousness is expressing itself. How to incorporate this practice into modern daily life? Yeah, easy, right? In the morning, when you wake up, you get up a half an hour earlier, whatever, and then you take a quick shower, and then you clean your body, heart, and mind. You take time, you have a sacred place, a place in your home where you have your setup, a nice altar. You can put some crystals or light a candle, some flowers, some feathers. You have your cushion, your mat, and that's your zone. That's where you're cultivating the energy, and eventually you just go there, and it's like the practice does itself, right? Or you have a nice space outdoors on a balcony and a deck. You walk, you go by the river, by the waterfall, somewhere nice. And then you have your practice. You say, okay, this is my practice. I commit, I'm going to do the sun salutation. I'm going to do the warrior pose, 1 minute each side. I'll do the tree pose, 1 minute. Then I go to the ground, forward bend 1 minute. Then I'm going to do the back bend 1 minute. Then I do inversion 1. Boom. I have these ones I do for 1 minute. That takes me X number of minutes. I have the time to integrate between. I know how much time that is. It's the same every day. Then I do the breathing. I do this one 1 minute or 2 minutes, this one 2 minutes, and then I sit for 16 minutes. Boom. And you have a timer, and you just check off, okay, done, 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 done. You do the same thing every day. Because you're not doing the practice. Through the practice, you're unlocking yourself. Through the practice, you're cleaning your body, heart, and mind. It's not like I'm achieving the thing, I'm doing the thing. It's through doing it that you're recentering, recalibrating your nervous system, your breathing, your organs, your inner flow. So that's what you're doing. You're practicing awareness. I'm not trying to get the yoga right or to be good at yoga. You see, it's completely different. It's 100% different from the modern approach to yoga, which is learn to do more tricky tricks and be good at it and wear nice clothes and then, whatever. This is about an inner process of sharpening your willpower by going into these uncomfortable situations. So really, the sitting forward bend, I put my timer 1 minute, and then I go and I breathe, and I start to explore spine, breath, one pointed focus, and then it's uncomfortable. And so then I said, okay, now I'm going to sit with the uncomfortableness and not react. And so by doing that again and again, we cultivate deep inner strength, and then the little bullshit in life just starts to lose its power over us. Because we're centered, focused, rooted within ourselves. And so that's what we're doing. We're not doing yoga. It's not like, do the yoga moves, what moves are you doing? Oh, look, I'm doing these moves. It's really about the essence of your inner rhythm and presence. What we're doing is practicing presence, grounding in presence, rooting in that essential presence. And so do it. It's like you take a shower in the morning. That's reasonable. Then you feel awake and ready for the day. You do this even more so, even more than a cup of coffee, because you're activating your own biology and chemistry. You're activating at the cellular level, right, at the level of the glands, of your brain, of your breath, of everything is becoming activated. And then you play your game from that place. Right? You've spent time with yourself. You've been with yourself, maybe do some journaling, all this. So then when you start, you have an advantage, an unfair advantage. Compared to everyone else who's just dragging themselves out of bed and throwing themselves into the next moment. Right? Because you're already on top of the wave, you're riding the wave. And if you take time and you do that cumulatively and you get to the point, it's like a well-trained sports player or musician, they just, that you're warmed up and you're ready to go. And then when life comes with the problems, which it will because life is uncomfortable, but you're able to dance with it, you're able to flow with it. It's like playing a sport when you're in shape, then bring it on. What is the longest amount of time that you meditated straight? So many bad jokes. So meditating straight. So that's not the point. It's not a superlative. Everyone wants superlatives. What was the best? What was the biggest? What was the? Fuck that. No, it's every moment. No, you got to live it every moment. Otherwise, it's just some trophy sitting on the cabinet. Really, it's radical. It's radical. Now means now. It's not. So it's not looking for like that, But in the early days, I was convinced that it had to be hardcore. And there was one time I had 40 days sitting where I was sitting 10 hours a day, in isolation for the 40 days, and that was intense. But I would sit like 3 hours at a time, 4 hours at a time. I have some friends that will sit 8, 10 hours at a time because but that's the thing. When you're in that state, it's not me sitting. It's not me meditating. The me is gone. In order to be there for that many hours, there's no me. It's not like the me is waiting around like, oh, okay, I'll just hang out here. No, the me is gone. The me is gone. Imagine that pain in the ass me that's whining and complaining every couple of seconds is there for 10 hours complaining. You're crazy. No, you get rid of the me. When the me, so there's the I am meditating is the fallacy. There's no I to meditate. You can set the I can say, okay, I'm gonna get ready. But then when the meditation comes, the I is swept away. There's no I. And so longer isn't better. What we need is that deep, pure, even 1 split second, 1 second, where your mind is just, you drop all the thoughts, all the complicated goals and everything. For a second, you drop everything, and you can finally breathe. And then that moment is beyond time. That moment of presence is outside of time, so we don't need to measure it. We can measure it. The same like a drop of gold or a tiny diamond has infinite value. 1 speck of presence is infinitely more valuable than a diamonds and gold. To be present, that freedom to fully be yourself without knowing what that is, right? That is the most precious. So even in meditating half hour, you just get for 1 second. It's like, that is perfect. It's not that I'm doing it wrong and it's bad. Meditation is never bad. Most of the time, and it's like digestion. It's going on at the deep level, beneath the surface. All these old patterns, all these old thoughts are getting digested, and so you feel like agitated. But it's not that the meditation is not working. This is the action of the meditation working. We have all this stored up emotions and mental and thoughts, everything, and need to be processed. And so it's not, the meditation's not working, it's just you need to give time for it. And also, the meditation, it's not like the meditation itself is, you're like floating on clouds, getting tickled and kissed by the angels and stuff. It's like the purpose of the meditation, it's not like you're at the spa and it's like everything is the best. The meditation is like you go to purgatory, you don't wait until you die. You go now and sit in the fire for 15, 20 minutes, half hour. So the other 23 and a half hours of your day, you feel relaxed. No, you'll feel the benefit of the meditation, not during the meditation, in your daily life. This is a big misunderstanding. Everyone thinks the meditation is supposed to feel good and this and that. Crazy. The meditation is you go into that infinite pressure and you burn in the fire and then you come out. It's like going in the sauna. And then you come out and you feel like, so much lighter, so much cooler, even on a hot day. This is the purpose of meditation. So don't be misunderstanding. Just sit in the fire, be uncomfortable, but don't react, just for a few minutes. At first it's like impossible, but it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you haven't worked out, you feel that tearing, the muscles tearing, it's like painful, like ugh. But then after a while you get addicted to it. It's like, wow, it's like, because it's chemistry. So the same way we're tearing our ego through the meditation is tearing the ego. And then you get the superpower. The superpower is to be relaxed in yourself. To be yourself, the relaxed version of yourself is the superpower. Why do yogis talk with their eyes closed? Yeah, you mean me? I talk with my eyes closed. So we have three eyes, these two and then this one. These two are going out. These two eyes are continually bombarded with information, and whether we know it or not, when we're seeing, it's being passively interpreted, filtered through the mind, and all the likes and dislikes and memories are going behind the scenes, and this is creating a lot of friction and static. And so when these eyes are busy capturing information, all the shiny flashing lights outside us, then the other eye, the eye of knowing, the third eye, is like disturbed, blocked, it can't open. So when these eyes are closed, it's easier for the inner eye, the eye of wisdom, to open. And so it started happening naturally to me when I was living in Brazil. It was 2002, 1. And as the kind of this deeper wisdom started to flow, my eyes would close. And then it became very natural. So the eyes, really, this is the way the eyes are working. This is one of the biggest factors determining our experience of life. Everything is moving through the eyes. And so if we can control the energy in the eyes, we can conserve a lot of energy. We're burning a lot of energy, wasting with seeing and talking and overeating, right? Overstimulation. And so one of the things that I'm going to set up here, so everyone has to come back, is darkness meditation room, huts actually, because you're going to spend 3 to 7 days in the darkness. Pure darkness means not even a pinprick of light. Right? This is our brains, because of the electricity, right? Our serotonin, melatonin levels are totally fucked. Right? Our whole brain chemistry and our whole rhythm, biorhythm, is off because of the effect of artificial lighting in the rhythm of life and in our brain chemistry. And so they say it takes about 3 days for serotonin and melatonin levels to recalibrate. 5 days for another level, and the DMT precursor. 6 to 7 days, your brain starts flushing DMT, like at the time of birth and death. And so there are places around the world that, since thousands of years, but it's become again popular, this darkness meditation, where it's a super tonic for healing a brain and nervous system. Your treat gets to carry forward into their lives when we leave. Top 3. No, what you need to carry is yourself. Carry yourself with you, to be yourself. In order to do that, we found that cleaning, like to clean your clothes, then you put your clothes on, it feels good. You clean your sheets and you get into the fresh sheets and it feels good. It's a different feeling. So that same way you want to feel in yourself. This is our birthright, is to feel at home in ourselves, for sure. And so whatever it takes to feel at home in yourself, that's what I want you to do. No, we found that this movement, breath, and stillness, having a rhythm and structure in the day, right? Tuning yourself and challenging yourself, awakening yourself before you start the day, this really will affect the flow of the day. In the same way, after a long day, after a hard day, if you clean again, everyone takes a shower. Most people take a shower at night, right? Because we've been out and we've been collecting, it's just, we got that icky feeling. You take a shower and it's like, ah. So we do the same thing for your cells, for your organs, for your heart, for your mind. We do the same thing in the morning through the practice. It's like flushing your body. When the movement of your breath and the blood and your nervous, all of this is like taking a shower from within. So we do it in the morning and then do it again in the evening. And then see, if it works, it's a miracle, right? We're taking so many supplements and doing so many fads for health and diet, what diet we should eat and what we should, so many things. So if it's possible to be more rooted and grounded within ourselves, in a rhythm with ourselves, then that would be incredible. What do you do for fun besides yoga? Every moment is fun. Every moment is fun. And every moment is yoga also. No, gardening for me is fun. No, creating things, working on the journal is fun. Playing with my son, riding a bicycle is fun. Dancing is fun. Making food is fun. I was a chef before. I was a cook. I was a linguist. For me, fun is the central part of every moment. And if fun is not about the activity, it's about my attitude. It's about my mindset. Actually, it's the lack of mindset. By not having a mindset, by being in my heart, then it's fun. It's unbelievable. Every moment is unbelievable. Just to be here is unbelievable. And so, for me, yoga is less fun. Yoga is like it's like I wipe my butt when I go to the toilet. No, the yoga is like that. I make a mess every day. I clean my mind. Yoga is more like a discipline. Yoga is, and that's why it doesn't need to be fancy. It's more important that it's regular training. But for me, fun, like taking a walk, spending time with my cow, chanting, everything. I try to fill my life with things that I really enjoy, and with beautiful moments and with beautiful people. And also my livelihood too. For me, I was never separate. For me, I never had the separate idea, I need some career or something like that. For me, I was always focused on truth and learning and creativity, and so I've infused my days with that. Yeah. What's the total number of people employed by the retreat? I think 40. I think Khmer Sap, we have 30 people, and then between the Western facilitators and healers and etc., that is probably around 40. Around 40, which is a big team. I still need to build a big team. I need a team to do publications and content and management and assistance. And eventually, we potentially could have a worldwide movement. Really, I feel that this idea of presence and aliveness is relevant and is useful, and we've seen the benefit in many people's lives. And so, yeah, most of the staff are family, like brother-in-law, nephew, because we were in the village for the first 11 years, 12 years, and everybody's from the village. Everybody lives on the street. It was very, good learning for me. When we first moved, there was no electricity, so it was really like a whole nother world. Still a whole nother world here. How do yoga poses lead to stillness and meditation? One is active, the other is still. Yes, that's right. It's complementing each other. So through the holding and the building of the energy, then the release of the energy. Because the problem is we have these blockages. So there's a pressure. The pressure system is different here than here than here. We're like in this, everything is a different pressure. And so through the posture, by flushing the blood, the nervous system, the breath through the body, right, then, and holding that, and then it builds up, and then the release. And so it's the combination of the buildup, the pressure, and the release working together that leads into that state of deep presence and stillness. And so we say it's not about the pose, it's about the poise, right? We're not posers, we don't want to be posers. We're not here to fake it, but we're here to have that deep poise, the deep presence, the deep rhythm. And so the pose is working together. There's the active and the passive part of the pose. Why do we roll our eyes upward when meditating? So there's a particular, in the alchemy of yoga, there's poses you do with your whole body. There's poses, something you do just with your hands. These are called mudra. Right? The mudras are very powerful. These are working with the subtle channels. Then there's some you do with your tongue, some you do with your eyes, some you do with the glands at the bottom of your these different pumps. We have these different pumps inside in order to move the energy up. Right? And so one of the most important ones is with these eyes, right? Because there's a connection here, and the tongue, actually. The tongue, Khechari Mudra, and the eye, Shambhavi Mudra. These are very important. And so normally our eyes are down, and again, this brain is going into duality, thinking good and bad, right and wrong, past and future. But when we turn the eyes up, then it's stimulating the center of the brain, pineal and pituitary gland, and it's keeping the mind from leaking out into the material world. And so it makes it easier to stay in the one-pointed focus. So usually our eyes are going out and diverging and taking in so much information. Now they're converging at this point here. And so I can rest in the one-pointed focus without fluctuation. And so it's many factors. One is the stimulation of certain things in your brain. Two is the habitual processing of information. Three is the one-pointed focus that is achieved more naturally. And so this allows you to go into deeper state of meditation more quickly. With the tongue, then you're touching the tip of your tongue to the soft palate. So it goes not just right up, but back and up. This makes the connection because we have these two meridians here. And then there's this point of connection here. So that helps with the tongue. So you can do the tongue as well. At first it's a little uncomfortable, but over time it becomes more natural. Okay, finish up quickly. How to remember the steps and techniques for a useful daily practice. It's on the paper, we're building an app. What is your favorite country you have visited apart from Cambodia, and why? India, because that's where all the sages and enlightened masters are. Yeah, there's some, whatever. They're all over the world. You have enlightened beings all over since all of time, but a big conglomerate in the India, Sri Lanka, Nepal region. But I don't have favorites. This again is this superlative. It's like my favorite is what I'm living in this moment. If my favorite is something in the past or something in the future, then this moment is inferior. So if now is inferior, then it's going to affect the way that we live. So it should be like, this is the peak, the pinnacle. The peak is this moment. I'm peaking this moment. Whatever comes, whatever will come, whatever has come is just cherry on top. Okay, enough talking. Let's be quiet for a moment. Come back to center. Straighten your spine, close your eyes, look up, find your breath. Forget yourself. It's the only way. No amount of obsessing over the different thoughts and emotions will bring any resolution. If it hasn't so far for you or for anyone, how could it happen? We can't think our way out of this. We can't think our way out of it. We can't force our way. We can't do enough. It'll never be enough. It's never been enough for anyone. So it must be that it's already now. It's already enough. Just close your eyes, breathe, forget yourself. Feel your body, the aliveness of your body. Smooth, long, slow breathing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.